Hello and welcome to PyNet Labs. We are here to discuss and demonstrate high availability with regards to firepower. And this is a part of the SNCF course, right? So yeah, let's get to it. So here is the topology, and as we can see, we have two firepower devices. That's firepower 1 and firepower 2, FTD1, FTD2. And then you have the FMC, right? So the FMC is the FMC box that we will be using to manage these two firepowers. The thing is that we'll be creating a high availability pair with these two firepower devices, such that one of them acts as the active device and the other acts as the passive device. In case one fails, the other will take over. Right, so let's get to it. And the devices have been turned on, right? And I have already logged in into the FMC, right? I'm already here in the devices tab, right? And you should be aware that the devices are in an okay state, meaning they are functioning fine and there are no deployments pending, although I can see a deployment pending, but let's check and see.
If you enjoyed the content of the video, don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe to our channel.
It seems to be yeah. So this will probably work. All right. So what you need to do is, yeah, I mean, of course, the devices also should say normal on both these devices. And let's go ahead and uh, configure the stuff. Okay. Now, before we do that, let me tell you, we haven't really configured anything right now on the Firepower 2 device, and that isn't required, right? As you will see as we go along. However, Firepower 1 has been given some IP addresses. And so, yeah, as you can see, there are some interfaces that we have configured IP addresses on. Okay, that's only with the Firepower 1 device. Anyway, let's go back to the devices section. Okay, it's opening. Okay, cool. Yeah, and the deployment thing is also done. Actually, there weren't any pending deployments anyway. Maybe it was kind of stuck in the like the graphical user interface. Anyway, so yeah, no deployments are pending, and both firepowers are showing this green icon, which means all is good. Okay, let's click the add button right here on the right hand side. Let's say let's click high availability. Okay, we need to give this pair a name, right? So I'm just going to call it HA1, let's say, probably, right? And the device type that we're going to use is Firepower Threat Defense. That's the unified image. Let's give me some error. Okay, let's select that again. Or maybe let's start this again. Okay, by availability, let's say HA1 and Firepower Threat Defense. Okay, and then you have the Firepower 1, okay, as the primary peer. And then you will select the 5.2 as the secondary peer, right? So yeah, these have been selected. I want my primary peer to be Firepower 1 and the secondary as the Firepower 2 device, right? So yeah, as you can see, there is an information pop-up saying high availability pair will have the primary configuration. Licenses from the primary peer will be converted to high availability versions. And I'm okay with that. We'll simply say okay. Of course, it is giving me a warning that the traffic may be temporarily disrupted, and I'm okay with that as well. I'm just going to say yes. Okay, once this is done, what it is asking me now is uh, where do I configure the failover link? Okay, and that is required. As you can see, you can also see this message down here that the failover link is used for syncing configuration. And there is another link which is called a stateful failover link, which is used to sync application content. So there are two links that are required uh, for the high availability pair to function. Right. As you can see, if I go back to my topology, we have connected this gig 0/1 as the failover link, and we'll be using the same link as a stateful link, right? So that's 192.168 on the two networks /24, right? And that's going to be 2.1 and 2.2, right? All right. So that being said, let's go ahead and configure this. So my interface is going to be gig 0/1, right? And the state link also is going to be the same thing, okay? Same as the failover link. So whatever I configure here in the in the failover link will be copied. The configuration will be copied for the stateful link as well, right? So yeah, let's configure this. Okay, so I'm just gonna say failover link. Let's say okay, that's the name I want to choose. This L is the capital thing. Okay, what's the primary IP address? So like I said, in the topology, we're going to use this as 192.168.2.1, right? So I'm just going to say 192.168.2.1, right, as the primary IP address. And the secondary IP address is going to be 192.168.2.2, right? The subnet mask that we're going to use is 255.255.255.0. Now, that being done and said, let's just click add. And depending on the configuration and the lab environment, this may take some time. Okay, so the pair has been added, and I'm just going to say okay for this message again. Okay, now it is further processing the high availability. As you can see, the progress bars, it's going to take some time. Again, depending on the configuration of the lab environment and stuff, it may take some time. So as you can see, it takes a lot of time, but yeah, it can take some time depending on the configuration of the lab and stuff. But yeah, as you can see, the high availability pair is now created. Okay, so that's the grouping, and you can see that firepower 1, as we had instructed, is the primary, right? And the firepower 2 is the secondary device here. By the way, you can see some icons here. That's for the editing of various parameters with regards to the high availability pair. That we'll be doing. This is to switch between primary and secondary. Certainly, we can do that if in case I want firepower 2 to become the primary and firepower 1 to become the secondary. I can certainly do that. This is to break and this is to refresh and delete the pair in case required. Right. So for now, at least what we're doing is, so like I said, there is no secondary IP addresses and stuff, right? But firepower 2 will not configure it beforehand. So where are you going to do it? So we'll click the select button. Okay, and we'll wait for the page to open. Yes, we'll see the page does open, and you can see that there is it says active and standby IPv4 addresses. Rather, it doesn't say firepower 1 and firepower 2 IP addresses. So the active peer automatically. So this is an interesting thing basically. The active peer gets the active IP addresses, and the standby peer gets the secondary or the standby IP addresses. Okay, so let's configure those. So what we're gonna say is we'll configure the thing connected to DMZ, and we'll say that this is probably 1.3, right? So all the standby IP addresses we'll keep it .3s, right? So for easy identification. So that's the DMZ stuff. Okay, let's configure the inside similarly. What I'm gonna say is 192.168.0.3. Okay, it's gonna say okay. And the outside, right, on similar lines, I'm just gonna say 12.0.3, right? So yeah, cool. That's done. And it's a safe configuration. Okay, and we will deploy this now for the high availability pair as a whole. Okay, so I'm just gonna select the high availability pair. I'm just gonna say deploy. Again, it may take some time. So we're gonna check the task list, right? This is where we keep an eye on the deployment. So yes, it's some time, but now it's deployed, as you can see. And so are the IP addresses, right? So IP addresses have been deployed for the devices respectively. So the active device would get the active IP addresses, the standby would get the standby IP addresses automatically, right? Yeah, if you want to, you can switch between the primary and the secondary devices, as you will see. So you go to the devices page and yeah, with this switch button, as you can see, and what we do is we'll just click this button here and it will switch the active and the secondary peer, right? It's asking me whether you want to do that. I'm just going to say yes. We'll wait for this to happen. Okay, so as you can see that the Firepower 2 has become the active device and the Firepower 1 has become the standby device, right? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. You learned a thing or two and you found this informative. I'll see you guys for more, right? Have a good one. Bye-bye.